Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Chai Tea Podcast. I'm Arcena, and joining me as always is my co host, Sam, also known as Timetofeelalive.
Hello, I'm here.
And today is a very exciting episode as we have our first guest. He is an amazing pocket streamer, pioneer of all the Gengar decks you see around, and fellow Dragonite enthusiast. It's Nuggie.
Hello.
Good morning. How are we doing today, everybody?
Pretty good as it is in the afternoon for me. So I've had my waking up session, so I should be roaring to go for the rest of the day.
Beautiful. We love to hear it. How about you, Arcena?
I'm doing all right. It's not too early for me, but yeah, just getting my day started, and yeah, hopefully we have a good one.
Nice. Me and Arcena usually like to start this podcast with a little chat about our collection. Just wondering, how do you see your collection in Pocket? That is mainly what this podcast is based off of. Probably should have started with that, but there you go.
Well, funny you say that. I was literally just wonder picking my collection right now, and I think it's quite above average of the regular Pocket player. As the enthusiast I am, we have, and this is not really a flex, it's more of a shame, but we've collected 36,215 cards.
I would say that's a flex, Nuggie. I would say
I
that's
know,
a flex. 36,000. I can only. Does that mean you're close to like completing everything, or do you still have?
here's the thing. Like the only thing that I have completed officially was the Genetic Apex one. That was probably where I went. The very first Pocket release of cards. That's the only thing that I've actually got like the golden Pokedex certificate for.
Wait, you
Everything
get a
else,
golden Pokédex certificate?
yeah. So you get silver, right? When you get all of the diamonds ones,
Yeah.
and then you get a gold one when you get the rest.
Oh wow.
But I think apart from, yeah, I think maybe out of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So currently there are 8 expansions. I
Yeah.
think I may have completed 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, like, it obviously is due to luck or whatnot with what you get in your cards, but with the amount that I've pulled so far, yeah, I haven't completed more than half of them in terms of fully completed.
Wow.
It is mad. It is a really hard thing to do, to be honest. I'm impressed you've actually managed to complete any of them. Because completing all of them, like, I can't even imagine how much money you'd have to sink into the game to do that.
Yes, I cannot believe I am still putting in more when I've obviously haven't realized that, I'm never going to be able to complete it all. But I tend to try and think, like, if I'm not going to do the physical version of collecting TCG cards or whatnot, that's kind of the same basis in the fact that there are people who are collecting for decades and still can't complete the collection just because of
True.
how vast and how hard it is to get everything. So that's what I try and make myself feel better by saying that.
I mean, Sam and I, when we talk about completion on this podcast, it's always the main set up to the 4 diamonds, and occasionally we throw in the 1 stars because they're tradable, and that is all we dream and hope for. Anything above that is a chase goal for both of us.
We do like the immersives as well, because like they're like the one thing in Pocket that you can't get in the physical card game. But don't always get those.
I will say though, you don't have to collect everything, but in terms of how the game operates and whatnot, I do feel that it is quite more than possible to be able to complete the silver decks with just a couple of 20, 30 pulls of packs. And if you didn't get to complete it, the trading function there to help you complete it is there. So it is quite catered to the free to play, so long as you just log in every day, do your due diligence, and I think it's good that way. And if you're shooting for the stars like I am and continually missing, then you can do a little bit more.
No, you're quite impressive. I think speaking of collections, right? there's one deck of yours that I think you call it the blinged out deck, the Eevee box deck, where you have gold,
Yes.
gold.
The
Yeah,
luxurious Eevees,
yeah, that's the name of the
Um,
deck, luxurious Eevees, because he's got like rainbows and like 2 stars and like gold, double gold Eevee bag. We hate the gold Eevee bag here, but double gold
it's
Pokeballs.
look, it's probably the one singular deck that I have that flaunts everything in all its like nature, I guess, because the Eevee set is, in terms of the art, is probably the most beautiful one out of all the expansions thus far.
I'd agree.
So to be able to collect all of that and showcase the rainbow borders and whatnot, just to show them how much I've dedicated myself to this game. It's kind of a nice feeling that you get to play with something. I mean, you know, you invested all this, you want to kind of use it, but at the same time, you don't want to be that kind of snob or whatnot, going, "Hey, man, I have this," and you know,
Nah. If you've
making it
got
look
it,
more
flex
like.
it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. If you have it, you have to flex it. What's the point otherwise, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what the binders are there for and the things are there for. And yeah, like I think I have a couple of friends on my friend list, right? So there's 2 Pokemon that I'm obsessed with. Squirtle and Blastoise is my favorite Pokemon, and Dragonite is a close second. I know Sam hates it when I talk about Dragonite, so I won't go any further. But
Don't hate it.
but I think
I feel like you brought on the wrong guest if you don't like Dragonite.
no, he
Sorry.
likes Dragonite. I've spoken it too much in
Yeah.
the last like when it first released. We'll get to it in a minute. But when it first released, I wanted to take Dragonite to Master Ball. It hasn't gone great since then. But yeah, so speaking about the flexing, right? I have a couple of friends on my friends list. Do you remember when I can't remember which set it was? I think Celestial released Blastoise and Venusaur shiny cards. And I actually want your thoughts on this, Nuggie. Sam and I think the shinies are meh, which is weird because on Twitch both of us started as shiny hunters, which is kind of weird. But Blastoise shiny was released in Celestial Guardians, and I have a couple of friends on my friends list that got 2 of them, and they put it on their binders. And I have a habit of liking everybody's binders every day, so I see it every day and it reminds me I don't have it. So you have it, you flex it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the thoughts on the shinies being like kind of meh,
Yeah.
or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's kind of a yes and no, because unless the shiny cards that are being brought into the game has a specific use or is in the current meta, the best example I can give you is Greninja, then you're not
Yep.
going to really be hyped about the shiny, because when I have shiny Greninja, and when I get to make a deck that is currently in the meta right now that I can use that shiny Greninja, then obviously I feel really excited about it. I look forward to it, and I'm glad I got the pull. But yeah, as you said, if you pulled like the let's say the shiny Celebi, you know, it was once a dominant force in the very early stages of the game,
A long time
but
ago.
yeah, no one uses it. And I guess the problem is that if you cannot find a use for a shiny that is now in the current set, because it's either dated or there is just no good combination with it right now, then you kind of feel demotivated, or you feel a bit upset, disappointed in the fact that you can't use it.
Yeah,
It
I feel the exact
also
same way. Like
it also
I went
wastes
out of
God
my
pack
way.
space,
Sorry,
right?
Arcena.
Yeah, sorry. It also wastes God pack space
Oh,
because
that's
Yeah,
true.
that's another slight rabbit hole we could have a look at in terms of god packs being a little bit diluted by shinies, because I think a lot more of the community would like to see, you know, the rainbow borders rather than a shiny border. Now, don't get me wrong, shiny borders are great,
yeah,
but again, if they're not usable, unless for a few specifics, then yeah, it takes up that space and that thrill.
yeah, it's not fun. It's so weird because like I've shiny hunted a lot. Sam shiny hunted a lot. We based most of our streams early days on shiny hunting as well. And then when it comes to Pocket, I I remember when Eevee Grow first came out, I was like, I don't want a shiny. And in my first 20 packs, I didn't pull a shiny. I didn't really get anything great either. I got a couple of 1 gold stars, but in terms of like EX's playable meta, as we say it, I didn't get 2 of any EX. The only EX I got is Primarina, and we know how well that's doing in the meta right now. But I was
Yeah.
so happy I didn't pull a shiny. Like, it's ridiculous.
I feel like I heard you getting legitimately angry on stream when you pulled a shiny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Uh,
just like Nuggie said, right? It's not playable. Don't really care about it.
Yeah, I actually went out of my way to build a Mewtwo deck this meta because I pulled a shiny Gardevoir. I'm like, well, I got the shiny card, I want to use it, and it just doesn't work.
No, it's time. I'd like to think that the time is not yet there, which I guess is a great example in a way. Is it? And obviously, it's more of a niche kind of deck that I build, but it was the Gengar deck where initially when it first came out, the potential was there, but it just wasn't enough, and it had to take a couple of expansions for it to get to a state where it is playable. So I think just give these cards a bit of time. Hopefully, there's the right item or support card for the shiny cards that you do get, and you'll be able to build something funky and fun with it. So, so far, I think the expansions have done pretty well in giving us something new to experience and combine every time there's an expansion. So, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just wait and see, and hopefully, we can use more shinies as they're being chucked into the pool.
Yeah, yeah. Did you speaking of the expansions, like when you saw Eevee Grove announced, what did you think? Like, were you thinking there was going to be such a big change in the meta, or did you think, oh, this one doesn't look too good?
I thought about what is that? Never judge a book by its cover kind of thing, because every time a new expansion has come out previously, people have kind of disregarded it, thinking it's not going to make much of an impact.
Looking at
And
Giratina EX,
I feel like I feel like every time the community in a way, or the people who are not so enthusiastic about each new expansion that comes out has been kind of wrong.
It's true.
Even now, like, of course, yeah, look, with the Eevee set coming out, it isn't the most game breaking meta out right now. It is definitely one of the more fun, but cards that we see, like the Dark Tina deck, that still floats around because, and I think it's going to float around for more expansions to come, because there's always that one or two card that just kind of helps it
It's
keep
just so
itself
strong.
relevant. Yeah, and yeah, I think I was more onto, okay, what we saw in the Eevee Grove. The Eevee bag was probably the most uh hyped thing before release. And then, other than when it came out, then it was the Sylveon EX that blew everyone out
Oh
of
yeah,
the water, out of their seats. That's when they realized that, yes, okay, this Sylveon EX is definitely, at least in my opinion, the most powerful card in the current set.
agreed.
it's
Deck thinning is just deck
everywhere.
winning.
Yeah,
So spammable.
that's his slogan. Deck thinning is deck winning. He
I
believes in
didn't come
that.
up with that. That's been around for years.
He believes in it. He really
Yeah,
believes in
I
No,
do.
it.
it's no. I agree. I've seen. I think we've all been there when turn 3, the opponent's drawn everything but 2 cards left in their deck because of a Sylveon. So, and to be fair, I was really drawn to the original Garchomp in the set, not the EX one, but the one, because it had that draw card effect.
Do you have
Oh
to
yeah.
discard?
Just
Was that a discard card or
you
just?
discard, you discard 1 to draw 1.
Yeah, so not as
Um,
broken as just drawing 2 for no reason, or just playing a card,
correct,
right? Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
yeah, no, when Eevee Grove first came out, I think we did a trailer release episode together, Sam and I, and it looked underwhelming, but we knew that we kind of sort of knew that Flareon was a power crept Arcanine, sort of,
Yeah.
and we looked at Sylveon and we thought it had potential, but the rest of the cards we knew was going to be a very collector based set, and it has. I think Pokemon saw how well Prismatic Evolutions did, and they were like, "Well, how can we just make more exciting stuff?" And I'm like, "Let's give them Eevee Grove on Pocket," and that's how it seemed at first. But like you said, with your luxurious EVs and EV bag, I reckon it has surprised a lot of us. And if EV bag wasn't the gold card, I think that I would confidently be able to say myself that it is the most a game-changing card, because imagine it's a Giovanni and a potion, and you get an
Yeah.
option of playing either, and it's not a supporter. Yeah.
Mm.
Drawback being you only have to use
Yeah.
EVs, but with EV cards being able to keep up with the power levels, a card like that is quite nice. It's a 2-in-1 card, and with a 20 deck space, a 2-in-1 is always
Exactly.
it's always required, right?
Yeah. Yes, and I think when we first saw a Eevee EX, I think it was no doubt that someone was going to cook every evolution that they could think of to make use of the Eevee bag and stuff like that as well. But it's a shame about Penny. That's the everything else I think is great.
She's also
But look,
here.
she's there. She's she's an Eevee enthusiast, but her uses are extremely niche to
It's a nice
the
way of
point
putting
that
it.
yeah, I mean there is one Pokemon that can make use of it very well, even if you draw nothing. But it's apart from that, yeah,
that
it's
Pokemon is a well-known Pokemon. It's Silvally, isn't it?
Oh, my boy.
Oh my
we
god.
thought Silvally was bad.
Yeah,
Wasn't it, with
that guy's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah.
Mm.
hmm Speaking of,
I actually ran into a. Go ahead, Arcena.
no, I was just about to ask him a question that I've been wanting to know for a while. because
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking
you've
about-
had this locked and loaded.
Yeah. So here's a question for you, Nuggie. Feel free to deliberate, talk about it, give us your thoughts. Is Pocket a game of skill or luck?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. Yes, there's a lot of obvious. To say yes and yes feels a bit cheap, because there are elements where luck is definitely a thing, especially with draw cards and whatnot.
Yep.
Especially in a low deck count, with just being 20 cards
Mhm.
compared to the TCG Live, which I think is 60.
Yep.
There is skill to it for sure, because I always maintain that just because there's a lot of meta decks out there, there's a lot of people that copy pasta these kind of decks and just play it. But in the hands of the right person who understand everything that's going on, you can pivot how you play the deck to analyze and see what your opponent is doing to change it. So I do believe there is skill involved, in a lot of ways, more skill than luck. And the best example I can kind of think of that is the tournaments that are held outside of the game itself with Limitless website, where players who we've seen consistently make the top cut because they are more skilled than the average player who would copy pasta a deck. And you see their names come up multiple times, and there are tournaments where there's hundreds, sometimes thousands of players, but those specific people will still come up into the top 16, for example. And it's not like I strongly believe it's definitely not luck that they got there. They learnt how to play the same deck that everyone knows, but do it better. So yeah, I will say that it's more skill than luck.
I think I've mentioned this before, so I'm not gonna dwell on it. So it is luck because it's a coin flip, right? So a coin flip is 50% in your favor, 50% in not. And I reckon the skill comes. So when it's 50% in your favor, then you forget about that. That's your luck going your way. You win those 50% of the games. And where the skill determines it is in the 50% of the time where you don't get dealt the cards you need. That is where your skill comes into play, and that is how you push your win rate above 50%. Because statistically speaking, if it was solely luck based and it's a coin flip, you cannot have a win percentage over 50 if it's only to do with luck. The fact that people have close to 60 win percentages on some decks and 70, 80 on various decks, I think I have to agree with you. It is more towards skill than luck. Yes, luck plays a part, but the times the luck is not in your favor, that's when your skill shines through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? You've actually convinced me here that it's skill over luck, because I was more like, no, it's just luck. You just got to get coin flips. You got to pull the right cards. It's got to be luck. But no, I like that reasoning with the players that consistently get high in tournaments. You know what? That's convinced me it's more skill.
Yeah, no, look at that. We have a changed man here.
The best thing I try and remind myself is these coin flips that we put ourselves into. It's already predetermined. As a skilled player, you'll probably try and think, all right, I've lost the coin flip. You know, you give yourself the worst possible scenario that you're not going to win whatever coin flip that you're hoping for. And then you're already trying to think of ways to pivot out of the future predicament that you're going to put yourself in when you lose the coin flip. So I think that's where the skilled player mindset comes in, because they're thinking of another plan to defeat their opponent if the current, their plan A fails. So
no, the way you think about the game, the way you think about ranked in general is just, it's so like refreshing to hear your thoughts on it. I knew you were a great player. Like speaking of ranked, right? I reckon I got to watching your content a lot right before the I think, was it $1,000 Ursi tournament? Was that the one? The big
10K,
one?
10,000.
Oh, 10,000, yeah. So I got to watching your content a lot. I think that's when I first started watching your content. And you were cooking up a Gengar deck for a 10K tournament, right? And then immediately after that tournament, all I see everywhere is so the tournament, obviously for you it's 1 a.m. when it started, right? For me it'd be around like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. when it starts and finishes like early in the morning. So I wasn't really involved in the beginning part of the tournament, and then next morning I get up after the top cut is finished the following day, and then Monday morning all I see everywhere is Gengar, 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 and I was like, did Nuggie win the tournament with his Gengar? And I was like, yeah, you are the pie. I don't think you don't even want to accept this, but I truly, wholeheartedly believe that the reason we see Gengar EX, Gengar, not even Gengar EX, just any of the three Gengars, is mainly because of how well you did with it in that tournament. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't look up. I know that Japan and Asia in general are absolutely monstrous with their deck building, and I did see, because there were variants of Gengar decks in that tournament as well. I believe I was the only one that brought in each of the different Gengars into that tournament, whereas the other ones did the Sleep Gengar one, which obviously did really, really well. I Yeah, I don't know how I got into that Gengar role, but I think it's just because I strongly believed in my mindset that there was something that could be done with it. And you've seen that I did in my deck list and stuff. There were 3 different variations, and the reason for that is because I also maintain this as well. But between rank and tournament is very different. When you get to see an opponent with an open hand, you can see everything that their cards have, so you can kind of prep yourself for how to deal with it when you're versing it. But with the 3 Gengars that I had, it's kind of hard for the opponent to prep what's going to come out, because they don't know what version is going to come out to stop that. So that was the idea behind it. And sometimes I still use it, but obviously it just depends on the meta. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone that I know that did the 3 different versions, and in a way, rightly so. It's kind of a wild deck.
No, it's, you know
I feel
what?
like
It's a good deck because before win streaks came out, right? When I did my first top 10K push into Master Ball, I used that Gengar deck, and it's still, I don't know if I have bettered my record considering it was in Master Ball. I had a day where I gained 100 points in Master Ball with the Gengar deck. So there's some,
Awesome.
yeah. No, I think that running the 3 Gengars is fantastic because your opponent does not know, because they first. I mean, I guess now many people prepare for Bother Gengar, but I think at that point, many people, oh, okay, this guy's running Gengar EX. Then they see you evolve into Bother Gengar. Okay, fine. It's a baby Gengar EX because it still blocks supporter, only does 50. Then you push out the Hypnoblast Gengar, and then they're like, oh fuck, I've won so many games because they just cannot wake up. So that deck is a lot better than running 3 is amazing. Like, I will still stand by it. I ran it, and I think till date it's my best record because getting 100 points in Master Ball before win streaks is ridiculous. So that's my take on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like
Yeah, it's
That's why it's in the
Very
intro.
flattering to hear. Yeah.
That's why it's in the
No,
intro.
I mean, I'm glad you guys like it, and look, hopefully, I do believe that as expansions come out and more, I think Gengar will have a use. There is a possibility that it will get stronger just because it blocks support cards that keep coming out. I will say though, with the expansion before Eevee Grow, which was the extra dimensional crisis, that's where Gengar took a hit because of cards like Celesteela being able to basically nullify what the Hypnoblast Gengar did, right? Keeping them on the field, staying asleep. Celesteela really kind of countered that tactic
Mhm.
to be able to switch Pokemon in and out. So, but I do think that card will have a future for a while. If some, and it's not just that card. If someone can cook it, they'll be able to manifest it, and people will be uh, enjoying it and be in awe of playing it.
Yeah.
I go on the TCG subreddit a lot, and people are always referring to Gengar EX as the potential mon. Like, it's going to be good next set, it's going to be good next set, but you actually did make it work, and that's really impressive. Using all three of them, just go back to it real quick, I think that's like, that again goes into the skill part of it, right? In that having the options means that you have to use your, like, smarts to figure out which one to use in which situation.
Yeah. I think that it was a lot of trial and error, guys. Like touching up on what Arcena said about win percentage and stuff, I don't really believe so much in win percentages because it's either you play a lot or you don't. So if you don't play a lot, but you just copy pasta a deck, then you're going to have a high win percentage. I literally did thousands of games. I think when rank first came out, my goal was to get Gengar to Master Ball. That was it. I don't know why, but I think as you touched up on, yeah, Gengar was the potential one, as people talked about. And it took me thousands of games. I was below 50% win rate, but I eventually got it to a place, at least in my mind, of how this Gengar can be played, at least to me, to make it worthwhile. And I think when people came in and tuned into the stream and stuff, I tried really hard to explain the thought process behind the things that I do so that they can kind of pick up on and whatnot. So that was just kind of the goal. And once, like even today, I could, you know what, I'll probably play some Gengar tonight later on and see how that goes in the current meta because I think there's never not a place to be able to like not use it. I guess the only difficult thing that I'm thinking of is just how to bypass cards like Sylveon and Celesteela, since Sylveon is essentially a research,
Mhm.
and Gengar can't stop that.
Oh yeah, because even if they have, oh yeah, because it stops professors' research, but you have two professors' research anyways.
Yeah.
So
So there's yeah, like right now Gengar is a bit of a 50-50. However, if you are lucky to get it up and running, like it makes me think maybe I should bring back the Hypnoblast Gengar in the current meta. We for those who are keeping up in the rank scene and even in the tournament scene, cards like Charizard and Sylveon, basically Sylveon with anything, Giratina, Greninja, all that jazz, is still running amok. And having a Hypnoblast Gengar now returning is not too bad, just because there's not as much Buzzwole or Guzzlord having Celesteela in the gameplay right now. So yeah, I might have to revisit that and see how things go. And I think that's the great part about Pocket. Like the meta is always shifting. And I feel like it shifts every 2 or 3 days. It's not even like a week
no,
anymore.
you're absolutely right. That's mainly the reason. Like, I think we realize that even more when we start recording these podcasts is you cannot pre-record because what you say today could be wrong tomorrow or could even be wrong in a few hours. So like that's how quickly
Yeah.
it's changing.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
I always try to say this is the flavor of the current day, and then tomorrow it's a brand new day. Something else has come up.
It's going to be flavor of the hour soon.
The hour. But never Dragonite. Never Dragonite.
No, I look when we talk about potential, and I mean I'm really appreciative and flattered that Arcena was really trying hard to make Dragonite to Master Ball. I do think there will be a time for not just Dragonite but dual energy mons in general. I do strongly believe that there will be a card of some sort that will help you generate the energy that you need to get cards like Dragonite online sooner rather than later and hoping for that luck energy to appear in your energy zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if I told you my win rate, main rate with Dragonite was not the percentage because you told me you don't care about that. But I had 99 wins and 126 losses. It was brutal. I was enjoying it for about a week. And it just got so demotivating because even if I play well, I can go to turn 8 or turn 10 of the game and not have the different energy. So that was what was bad about it. And then I switched to Eevee box, and 12 games later, I made 140 points, and I was in Master Ball. So like that's like
No, it's just the current meta with Sylveon being such and to be fair, the EVs in general being just so versatile to a lot of decks. Um, the amount of draw, Sam touched up on with how the quicker you thin the deck, the faster you win the game.
yep.
So it is currently in that state. So I do know that there are a few peeps in the community who are currently unhappy with it just because of how fast whether you or your opponent can draw their cards.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the expansion coming out, which is a big one,
Yeah.
it will kind of mellow out. And I think Pocket has been pretty good in trying to balance. Like I definitely wouldn't want to be a dev for this team or whatnot, just trying to think what cards
No.
to kind of put in for the next one to kind of subside what happened in the previous.
But I think, don't you think they
and
planned this out? Like, don't you think at least they've got 6 months? Like, I reckon when Genetic Apex came out, I reckon they knew Rare Candy was coming out with Celestial Guardians. Do you not think that's how they work? Or
I think they already had 2 or 3 expansions already lined up before the first one came out for the public. I
Yeah.
think they've already got that timeline set. They don't.
Yeah.
There's no way any company would go, all right, we've just released Eevee Grove. Let's try and think for the next month,
Yeah.
and with balance and everything, what is going to be able to compete against this? I think they've already lined up the greatest minds who are working on this game is thinking about how to proficiently balance it as much as possible for each new set that comes out. And yeah, it's a tough gig, but so far it's doing all right. And we'll see what's going to happen in a few weeks' time when the new set comes out.
What do
And
you think it's going to
I
be focused on?
I've been wrong every time an
Yeah.
expansion because I've always said like with mini expansions I try and deduce something like Gen 2. They only added like another 100 Pokemon in Gen 2, so I was thinking mini set Gen 2, that makes sense, but I've been swerved every time. And I think even with this one, right, Eevee Grove, yes, we knew it was coming, but nobody expected Dragonite EX or Snorlax EX to be added into the expansion.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, with it trying to line up with Pokemon Presents coming very, very soon, something going towards Legend ZA, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mega Evolution yet.
Maybe that comes out
It's
with the release of the game, right?
yeah, maybe in the
Yeah.
October side, but maybe Gen 5. I think what people are kind of alluding to, but
That could make sense. The paper TCG or the IRL TCG just released their black and white set, so it could line up. Because
yeah,
we had Prismatic, then we had Eevee Grove. So you know what? Wow, I never thought about Gen 5. I mean, I didn't have any thoughts anyways, but I didn't think Gen 5.
I look, your guess is as good as any. It's I mean there's only 9 gens, right? So just think of the ones that haven't been put in yet. I still
Yeah.
think Gen 2s at some point, maybe a mini set. It could be the main one coming up, but
Ho-Oh and Lugia, like, give me them, please.
Oh, then they
yeah,
love
I
them.
you know what? You guys are gonna be so excited for it. Ho-Ho Immersive, Lugia Immersive, Ho-Ho Gold, Lugia Gold, and then they give you Eevee back. Okay?
And look, I'm pretty happy with how they've kind of split up their gold across the expansion, so it's not always just a Pokemon. I think it was really cool when they did the gold Pokeball.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate flex. because I love cards that you can bring anywhere in any deck. It's very disheartening in a way when you have, what was it, Golden Palkia or Dialga, but they might be only good for one expansion and then you don't ever see them again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Extra Dimensional Crisis missed a trick by not making the gold card from that set Celesteela, because that goes in like every Ultra Beast deck. Like, why would you make it Nihilego, which is kind of like situational?
I think it's popular.
That was
Nihilego's
an
a
odd one. Yes.
popular
Yeah, that
Pokemon,
was an
right?
Hmm.
well, I thought Buzzwole. I mean, but to be fair, Buzzwole did get an immersive.
Yeah, with the
Uh,
Lusamine lore in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, Lusamine is with Nihilego, and Lusamine, Nihilego, and Lilia are all three very, very popular Pokemon slash characters in the Pokemon universe. So like, it's an odd choice because it's a 70 HP Pokemon that gets knocked out in one hit, so you'll never see it. But I reckon with gold cards, immersives, they are gonna appeal to the collectors. So I think that's their focus. Gold and immersives are not based on playability, but more on the collection side, I reckon.
yeah, yeah, and speaking of, that's the good thing about this game, is that you don't have to be absolutely competitive or whatnot. Like my son is always excited to open 2 packs on his iPad every day, just for the collection purposes. So I think it's good that they have this. For me though, I would hope that they can maybe delve into more of the competitive side. There's a lot of ideas and stuff that I would love to make it happen, like for them to implement into the game. But that's just me being wishful thinking, and I'm
Yeah.
just not trying to put my hopes up just so that I can, be disappointed or whatnot. But
But I mean, you know how you
Yeah.
said you're hoping about the development and whatever. You are actually also kind of sort of doing that on your own, right? With your invitational, it is fantastic. It's probably like in terms of a casual player. Like obviously the big tournaments are for all the pros, and when you want to play the meta and like build yourself and get better, whatever, you go to those big tournaments. But your
yeah,
tournament, I actually really enjoy them because they make me think outside the box. Now, I haven't been able to join the tournaments just even though it's in a very, very, very nice time zone for me, like 2 p.m. start, I think for me, or 3 p.m. start on a Sunday is beautiful. For some reason, I've just always had something up on a Sunday at that time. But your tournaments are beautiful because they make you think. I've built decks for 2 or 3 of yours, and it's crazy what you can come up with. And you know what? They also I've run them in unranked, and I've managed to get some wins. So like, tell us about your invitationals, how you came up with it, why you do it, and how you came up with the wonderful ideas.
you have complimented me so much, I don't know what to say.
Stun locked.
Yeah. Thank you. Look, initially, yes, there was not a lot of tournaments, at least in the Western English speaking side of the world, at the time zone that I hosted it. And there's wonderful tournament organizers like Ursi Day, for example. She holds one of the biggest ones for competitive play.
Yeah, that's
I didn't want the community or people who are new to the game to be shied away from playing. So the
Mhm.
goal was to always try and make this as casual as we can for the veterans who are sick of playing high end. They want to kind of have a relaxing game, while at the same time for the new peeps who come in as well, because I can understand if you were to start the game now, you're thinking, oh, I'm so far behind, I haven't got all these cards yet. It'll be nice just for them to play and just get a feel and taste for it to see if they want to take it to the next level. And so our goal with my awesome team was just to make things fun for literally everyone, and to be able to put in certain gimmicks where you can't use the best decks in the game all the time, allows everyone, including just everyone in general, to see what these cards can do outside of the meta. And I think that's how new metas are formed as well, when they realize that there is a card that is better than it seems, but obviously played in a different format, and they'll be able to keep that in the back of their mind. So when something else comes out, they can combine, oh, wait, I remember playing this in a previous tournament that did relatively well, and now that these new cards have come in, maybe we can make something work here. So it's just to make people think, but in a good way, and have fun with it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed. I think I built decks for your Gen 7 one where you couldn't use Prof,
Yeah.
and then your coin flip one as well. And then since I was stuck on Dragonite, I couldn't build a deck for your stage 1, but I knew that was probably going to be like a. I think I saw your stats at the end was a lot of Leafeon, Flareon in that.
Yeah, I think it was the top 8. It was all Leafeon, Flareons. But the only the good thing is that it's not nowhere near as long as the Dark Tina days. Those were some dark times. To be able to commentate or cast those and make it enjoyable for the audience, that was a rough one. Because it's quite slow.
Yeah, it's so funny how well Dark Tina does because I think 90% of the time when we talk about rank or think about rank, we're always like, oh my god, it's so quick pace, it's so quick pace, it's so quick pace. It always boggles me how Dark Tina did so well when it just sits there for 4 turns.
Yeah.
Like,
It's I mean that's where the Giratina shines through, right? To be able to ramp energy and most of that as well, where Magneton comes into play, and it got better with age. Magneton into Magnezone.
mhm.
And I think in a way, people may be unhappy, but with Sylveon and whatnot with this current set, but that kind of made things more fast paced, so you don't see as much Dark Tina in the meta because they can't catch up to
Yeah,
how fast an Eevee deck can build and knock you out before you can do anything. So, and it all comes down to balance of
yeah.
basically every expansion. But yeah, just kind of just got to adapt. I think just as much as they do when they release sets, we got to try and analyze and see what we can do to evolve with each new set.
What has been
Mhm.
your favorite gimmick that you selected for your invitational?
Oh boy. Okay.
And it doesn't have to be from like I think series 3 just finished, right? If correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
an invitational next weekend,
Yes.
but
From all your tournaments, your best gimmick that you've selected. The one you had the
I
most
think
fun, most
the
decks.
most fun, yeah, the most fun was probably the dual energy deck, because we
Oh,
talked about how tough it was. Now,
yeah.
this was obviously before, let's say, Greninja, Giratina combos and whatnot.
Okay.
But there were, we had a gimmick where it was just dual energy only. So there was a specific, there was a lot of funny games, but there was a specific game where it was a dual energy Celebi
Mm-hmm.
going up against a Garchomp, and Celebi just could not flip tails. I mean, could not flip heads to save its life, and Garchomp was
Been there.
literally just drowning. He could not find a fighting energy, so it was just like stalemated on both sides.
Oh my god.
And we just couldn't contain ourselves because there were at least like 3 to 5 times where Celebi should have taken the KO, but he kept flipping heads. And mind you, it was like up to 10 coins to
Oh,
flip at
oh,
that point.
oh
Oh my
wow.
But
days.
he only got like 1 or 2 heads, and it was just a slow process. While Garchomp, every time you looked at the energy zone, just more water came out, so he just couldn't attack.
Oh
Um,
my god.
so that's yeah, that was pretty funny. That was probably the funniest gimmick that we did. But overall, I think a lot of them were pretty good. And the thing is, we plan this out before we know what's coming out in the set.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the recent one with Eevee Grove. Like, we already planned for a stage 1 tournament to be held at this date,
Mm-hmm.
and this was before any announcement trailer of Eevee Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened to coincide that, well, okay, this tournament that's happening, Eevee Grove's going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna
we've been
dominate.
pretty, yeah, we've been pretty, in a way, I'd say we've been pretty lucky with how things have kind of panned out in the pocket scene with what the devs are doing and how it kind of elevates our gimmick tournaments.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, no. Gimmick tournaments are fantastic. Like I said, I really enjoyed making decks for it, and I will join the tournaments one day because it's in a beautiful time zone. I just got to make sure there's no rank going on. I don't do something crazy like Dragonite and have the time to join the tournament and at least just have some fun because it makes you think a lot, right? What to play, what not to play.
Well, maybe we'll do a 3 energy only tournament next
Oh
week.
my days.
You can have fun with that.
No,
It's finally Giratina's time to shine. The Dragon Giratina.
Dragon Crazy. Oh, the Necrozma, that thing with steel and psychic and
Oh,
stuff.
gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. But I guess because it's promo, they can't make it broken. So they wanted to
Yeah.
make like a cool thing where you discard 5 cards, but they couldn't make it game changing because then someone who joins the game next month won't have it, right?
Yeah. I don't think there's been a promo card that I can think of that has stayed relevant, or in a way even been meta, in the ranking scene and whatnot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have any been really like used? Like what?
Lapras
What would
was
you-
because people wanted to try
Yeah.
the healing. They thought
guess.
Cresselia would work. It didn't. What else was there? They really can't make. So the changes they would make to Cresselia was when you put an energy, it heals anything or heals the active or something like that instead of healing Cresselia itself. But that would make it again a good card, and people who joined even now or last week wouldn't have access to it. So I reckon,
Yeah, they can't really do it.
yeah. And then, you know what? Funnily enough, right? Greninja is a promo card. That's a promo card that's been relevant forever, but you know what I mean?
True.
It's just a reskin. It's not a new
Yeah,
card.
reskins don't count. It has to be a brand new Pokemon, well, at least with the different ability, different costs and all that stuff
Like,
to
I think
be a
Shedskin
proper one.
Dragonair was something people
Yeah.
thought when it came out, right? They're like, oh my god, it's going to make it work. But I think, Nuggie, you would agree with me on this, is you
Yeah, I
would
took it out.
rather use 60 on Dragonair, the new one, than heal for 30. Because
Yeah.
if you have a
Look,
Dragonair, if you have a Dragonair
No,
out,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
are kind of screwed and you want to just get it into Dragonair as much as possible. Like, if your Dragonair is out, you want to attack with it, otherwise, you want to build it up in the bench. So that 30
Yeah.
healing, I think you couldn't make it work as well, right?
Look, if the new Dragonair, not the promo one, but the recent one with Eevee Grove, if that didn't come out and you had a choice between the genetic Apex Dragonair and the promo Dragonair, then I can see promo Dragonair being used because 3 energy for, which is a decent attack, 80 attack is fine. It can KO most things, but a lot of the times you're not going to be able to build 3 energy on a Pokemon with out casualties. Whereas the Eevee Grove Dragonair, it was just the right spot. You know, it filled in the same as Gabite with 60 damage with fighting and water. Like if you go on curve, you go second, you evolve, you know, the lock is aligned and you get to attack for 60. It did a lot of damage. It was so much more beneficial. And one of the things that held the promo Dragonair back as well was the shed skin healing's great, but you can't retreat it. It's too well, you can, but it's 2 retreat cost.
Oh wow, I didn't
So
realize
you
that.
you were just stuck there.
Yeah.
So you had to take the hit and then hopefully it doesn't get KO'd. And if it's your next turn, the awkward part, I guess, is if you don't have the Dragonite and all the energy, it most likely just gets KO'd just sitting there. So it's a tough one. Like I'm not completely ruling it out, but at the moment, as we've talked about, just all these other promo cards, that doesn't make a significant impact in what they're combined with. I think that's kind of a good thing, as you touched up on. Like people who join the game now, they're not going to be able to get the promo cards for a while that we know of, so it doesn't impact the meta so much.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like the thing with the with the Eevee Grove Dragonite is in the deck that you're running, which I ran. If you start turn 1 with Zero Aura and you have the Hand of Dreams, your Dratini is in the active, and when you start turn 1, and this is I cannot explain to you in words properly how excited I am when I start turn 1. I see Zero Aura and Dratini, and the energy in the bottom right is water, and I have a Dawn. If I get Dragon at turn 3, I knock out a 60 HP basic. And I get so excited. Like that was like I had little moments of joy running Dragonite EX decks and that was my biggest moment of joy, was starting turn one, seeing water energy, having Dawn in my hand, and top decking Dragonair, and it's a lot to go your way, man. But like,
No, it is good. But I do think if you've got that kind of combo ready, then most likely you'll get your Dragonite EX the next turn after anyways, and that's when you can kind of win the game. But and I'm sorry, Sam, we're talking about Dragonite again. I know this probably wasn't
I
what you
checked out ages
said
ago.
earlier.
Don't worry, guys.
uh,
Yeah. But yeah, I will say I do think one day it'll be relevant. Just it might be the next set. You never know. There'll probably be a card that helps it. Just depends on and I always try and say this to everyone. Like whenever we get a sneak peek of cards that come out for the next set, we only get, let's say, 10 to 15% of what the trailer shows. We don't know what the other 50 or to 80 cards are, and
Yeah.
that can change the whole thing. I don't think, oh, maybe there was one time, but I don't think there's ever a time where you know exactly how many EX Pokemons are there in the certain pack. So yeah, just kind of, take it with a grain of salt. Don't rule out anything, and wait till the full release, and then we can make our judgments then.
Yeah, agreed.
Fair enough.
Agreed. Speaking of things coming to the game, what do you think about the trading changes that are coming up?
I think it is very good for everyone, and I know that it was one of the biggest issues when the game first came out, that the trading system, when that got released for the first time, it wasn't well received. And we had, I think a lot of you guys would, or everyone in general would have a lot of shine dust that's just kind of sitting there,
Yeah,
not
finally have a
really,
use for it.
yeah, not doing anything. And then when the trading system came out, it was so difficult to trade with friends, family, you name it. There wasn't a really like, and right now, with this trading system, it's good that you can trade, and I believe that they've also given you the option to not just like, you don't. I think you still have to be friends, but you can tell people that I am looking for these 20 cards or something, like one
Yeah,
of
the
these
wish list
20
feature.
cards. Yeah,
Oh,
there's a wish list, which is actually really good. And if there's a way for uh the game to give you like a communications where you can scroll through maybe a list of just random peeps in the game, and you can, oh, this person needs this, then you can help them out. That would be great.
yeah.
But I would say it's a step in the right direction for sure. And they did, I do appreciate that they addressed this quite early on, and they said that it was going to take them some time to kind of possibly switch the code from whatever the current trade system was to this new one. So it's taken, I think, 6 months, but we're here. We're about
Yeah.
to be here.
Better
They're
late
listening.
than never. Yeah. The Pocket actually listened quite a bit, right? They made a lot of the changes they made. I think when the first trading changes came out, people were unhappy at how hard it was to get trade tokens because you had to grind down your cards. Like, you had to grind. I think, Sam, you had the math figured out where you had to grind like 4 or 5 cards to trade one of the same card or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Ugh.
listened to that and started giving us 1,000 every month, which was fantastic. That's like 2 EX cards that you could trade. And generally every meta has been kind of a 2 EX meta. So like that's beautiful. If you didn't pull a second, you could trade for it. And then even with ranked, they've been quite good at listening to us because people are complaining that they removed win streaks, they added those. Then they didn't want to derank, they're gonna add those. So I think Pocket knows that if it doesn't listen, it's going to lose because it is crazy how popular this game became, right?
Yeah.
So like they're very smart in listening to people, and you know what? I'm all for it. I love the game. I'm obsessed with it. I know Sam is and Nuggie. I think you are too. So I'm really happy with all these quality of life changes, as we call them. Like I'm really happy. Longevity
Yeah.
of the game is good.
Yeah, they've been
Agreed.
they've been pretty good so far. There are probably a few things that they could change outside of the game development. Feels a bit, do I feel it feels a bit grim if I mention it, but it's something I mentioned to the team anyways about the recent Twitch drop thing. That I think upset a lot of people from what I saw, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's actually the game developers' uh, fault at all. So it's in a way got nothing to do with them in that regard. But yeah, the game can't function along itself. It still has to work on the promos and what they can give out to the community and whatnot. And I think with the Twitch drops, it was restricted to only a few content creators rather than having it as a certain category for anyone that streams Pocket.
Should have been blanket.
And
I don't know. I know you've got a lot of this, Nuggie. I think I've seen you stream people like, oh, can I have a drop here? Even for someone like me, right? I've had people like, oh, can I have drops here? And it's just so awkward to like be like, oh, well, I am streaming the game. I stream it about 3 hours whenever I stream it, but no, you cannot get your drops from here. And so no, I see where you're coming from.
It was quite well addressed in a sense that sometimes there are streamers that you don't want to watch, or to sit there for 45 minutes on someone you don't know is not really motivating enough to get the drops, as well as I think even to claim it was a bit of a hassle as well. But they should have released it to all Pocket creators, so that, because at the end of the day, I think apart from maybe 2, maybe 3 peeps in that list of creators that were allowed to give out Twitch drops, no one in the Pocket community really knew the others,
right?
And it was kind of a slap in the face to everyone else that did do Pocket content, whether it's YouTube videos and whatnot. So hopefully they can fix that for the next time they do something like that, so that everyone can benefit from it rather than just a few. But that's something that's not with the game itself. It's just how
they're marketing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just with that to the public. But at the end of the day, if you want the game to succeed, it's not just the game thing, but it's the community part as well. And if you don't have a happy community, then essentially the game's not going to survive for long.
No, I have to agree with you on that. It's nice to hear your thoughts on a lot of different things, right?
Yeah, it's I don't normally sugarcoat things. I guess I say how it is, and I see it as well. But it's I don't think they'll hear us in some shape or form. But I am fortunate enough to be excuse me.
Good.
I'm fortunate enough to be part of the content creator team with TPCI, so I can let them know what I think is good about the game and whatnot. So hopefully the little suggestions I made, especially with the trading stuff in future, one of the biggest things is that I would love to, as you hear my collection is enormous, but the problem is to break them down one at a time is the most demotivating thing ever.
I know.
And
so many interface things need changing.
Yeah, like I would like to just, I have 100+ cards or something. I'd like to get rid of it in one go, not click it 100 times. It would be so nice, and it could also maybe hide how much I've actually collected when you'd burnt them all. So, but yeah, I would love to give as much as I can to peeps in the community who are still actively playing, but it's just too tedious to be burning these cards one at a time just to collect that currency to be able to trade. So them converting the whatever the current currency name is to Shine Dust is at least good, because I have a lot of that.
Yeah. And another small gripe is I love sitting there in the gift section opening solo packs one by one by one, the little promo packs. That's fun. Love that.
Yeah, they need to. Yeah, so that's a game thing that they can improve on for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like I did address something like that as well. Bulk promo openings, bulk card dismantling, and fingers crossed, guys. Give it 2-3 months for them to set out a letter of what they're updating, and hopefully by Christmas.
They've proved they're listening, so hopefully these ones get through. Not from us specifically, just from the community in general.
We don't have any power here, guys.
All right. Well, I don't think we have anything else left to cover, so I'm just going to hit you with a couple quick questions, Nuggie. Just to finish up, what card would you like to see added to the game in the future?
I would like to see probably Ho-Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it a lot, and I'm a fan of Typhlosion or
Mhm.
Embor. No, what's that Embor? What's that pig? Like I'm
Embor.
actually one of the few that it's Embor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like his design and stuff, but Ho-Oh, it with the mechanic, I think it just resurrects. So I would like to see if Ho-Oh comes out, would have an ability. Let's just say I'm running Ho-Oh Gengar, and I decide to resurrect Gengar just out of the blue.
Wow.
Is that possible?
like a Celestic Down Elder ability.
Yeah. But it's your final Evo, so you don't have to start again from scratch. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
seems balanced.
yeah. No. Well, like the thing is, you're risking an EX. I don't know. Maybe it's an
Okay.
energy cost. I don't know. But I think Ho-Oh is something that I would like to see because I feel like it can play around with something. But yeah, I don't know what you guys would what would you guys look for in looking forward to most in a certain Pokemon if there was one.
I had a
Dragonite
thought about
EX
this
being
recently.
playable.
Okay. We're not going back to Dragonite EX. But I had a thought about this recently, and this isn't like the specific card that I want, but I just randomly thought about it. I would love to see Vanillux EX because I feel like Vanillux in the game at the moment is kind of meh. Whereas if you put it in a Sweet Treat deck, it doesn't really help out with Sweet Treat. If we had a Vanillux EX that had like 2 attacks, and one of them did Sweet Relay, and then the other one did something to do with that, I feel like that would be really cool.
Like the Alcremie one, yeah, that
Yeah,
accumulates all the street. Yeah, I think
but maybe
Appleton
not
does something
that.
similar because I think Applin is also Sweets Relay, but Appleton actually are they both Sweets Relay?
Yeah, they both. One is
I think
Applin is
it's the other way around.
10 plus 20, and then Appleton is 1 energy 30 plus 40, I reckon.
Something like that. I think actually Applin isn't Sweets Relay, and then Appleton is. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, Appleton is 40 damage plus 30.
Oh yeah, you're right.
One energy cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sam's right.
Applin,
Ram for
Applin
20.
is just Ram. It's just Ram. It's not even Sweets Relay.
Ram.
Yeah, Ram.
Yeah.
Ram.
Yeah. So I'd like to see Vanillux.
Or maybe we could have like a mechanic, right? I think early on in Genetic Apex, I think Zapdos would attack the bench. Maybe we could have attacking the bench and then that doing something like an interesting, exciting mechanic where like damaging yourself could lead to an X. Like if you have like X amount of count damage on your bench, you do X amount of damage back to the opponent.
It could be something like if you hurt yourself, the opponent will also. I mean, they've got something similar with Mimikyu. With
Poor old Mimikyu.
Yeah, the Mimikyu with the what's that Pokemon supporter?
I say it wrong all the time.
Is it Acerola? Yeah, I think it's Acerola. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Sorry.
No one does.
But yeah, it's just putting 40 of its damage to the opponent.
Else.
But it has to be active. But yeah, there's a lot of things I think that is still untapped for sure in the Pocket world.
Yeah,
I think their biggest challenge is to keep players engaged and whatnot because around this time, we're almost we're coming up to 10 months, so closing up to a year. People can get gassed out from playing this in and out because it is in a lot of ways a casual card game compared to a lot of other card games out there. So.
True.
Just really depends. Like for me, like I said earlier, I would love for it to be more competitive in some shape or form. I did touch up. I touched up on earlier about how I wanted like a tournament function where it can only start if you had like 32 to 64 players. Let's just say 64 because it's harder to obtain. There's only a certain time limit for people to sign up around the world. And then you can slot in like your 2-star card or something, for example, as a reward. So whoever wins that tournament will win that 2-star card that you're giving out in the tournament. And I think a lot of players would be down to play a lot more Pocket, especially tournament based. Doesn't have to be monetary value, but people are right now saying, why can't we trade 2-star cards or whatnot? And so you know what, I'll give it to the devs. Let's not trade the 2-star cards. They're meant to be more special and harder to get, But what if you're able to, let's say once a week or once a month? I'll even say once a month. Host a tournament on an account that has a 2-star card that you can just slot it into the game to give away, and it's just kind of held there so people can see what they're playing for, and
Wow.
you'll have so many more players, even casuals, to play for that card.
You're right,
Um,
because as a lot of people that I know of in the community where they collect, they watch me play ranked, but they're just collectors. They like the pretty cards. So no,
yeah,
that would make a
yeah,
lot of
and
sense.
yeah, it would be
What a
it would be
fantastic
so
idea.
engaging. Yeah, I'm missing the other Dragonite full art for Eevee Grove, the red. I think the one with the red border, like background.
Hmm.
And if that was up for grabs in a tournament setting, I would definitely play to try and get it, rather than hope my luck on pulling for it. So, and yeah, I don't think I'm being too unreasonable doing it once a month. I feel like that's quite good
Yeah,
because you're not
Yeah.
abusing it,
yeah.
and maybe
You
you
gotta
can
have
only
limits.
enter tournaments. Yeah, you can only enter tournaments 3 times a month or something. I don't know. So, um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
it'd be nice. But again, if they ever listen, you're welcome, guys. Hopefully that
yeah.
helps you in your.
Somebody clip that up.
Yep.
Send it to Denna.
Uh,
We've gone off on a bit of a tangent with that one, but I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great one. Last 2 questions, quick fire. Your favorite cards, best art, and the best like competitive.
Oh man, okay. Favorite card. Well, it's gonna have to be Gengar EX.
Nice,
Because
nice.
I played it. You guys, most of you guys know what it does, and it's so satisfying to see it being used where your opponent can't use any support cards.
Mhm.
The favorite one for competitive,
yeah.
Yeah.
Guzzlord, I would say. Not the
Oh,
Ooh.
prettiest Pokemon, but the mechanic it has is so fun. I love, as you can see, there's a theme here. I like disruption Pokemon,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, card
those are
disruption
my
is annoying, right? Really annoying.
yeah, but it's not like slow. I don't like slow decks. That's why I have never really touched a Dark Tina deck. But Guzzlord I can get behind because you only need 2 energy to start being annoying. So yeah, those are my 2.
Yeah,
Nice.
that
No, good
was
choices. Good choices.
yeah. So I
I
think yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say I tried to make Guzzlord work for ages and I just couldn't, and now it's doing really well. And I've grown to hate it because it has just disrupted me so many times. It got rid of my energy on Oricorio and just meant I couldn't attack. And like it just, whenever I play Guzzlord, I never flip heads. Whenever I play against it, they're always flipping heads. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah, yes, that's the whole life is unfair and just
Yeah,
deal with it kind of attitude that
Grass is
I have
greener
at
on
this
the other
point.
side, all
yeah,
those
it's true.
your regular regular stuff.
What other phrases can we add?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
I would say never give up. There's been many times where it looks doom and gloom, and yeah, there are many. Yeah, there's times when I thought I was definitely a goner, and somehow to get out of it. That's also a very satisfying thing in Pocket where you're on the ropes, but you get out of a sticky situation. So never give
yeah.
up.
True. That is a great phrase to end the podcast on, I think. Yeah, I think we've covered everything we wanted to go through today, and it was fantastic having you. I really enjoyed this chat.
Oh, thank
And
Yeah.
do you want to plug all of your stuff, Nuggie?
it'll be in the description anyways. But yeah, go ahead.
you.
Plug whatever you need to plug
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I'm a pretty casual guy. I only stream like 3 days a week, but if you do want to catch the streams, because that's where you'll mostly find me, I'll be on twitch.tv/Nuggie. I do have other socials, but you can follow those too. It's just you got to add the _D because that's what I used to be called as. But yeah, that's but thanks everyone. Thanks for having me. It was really fun just to chat about this, and you guys have been a blast.
Nah,
And
it was super fun to like hear your opinions on almost everything, and it's made me. I know it's made me think about the game in such a different way, and going forward how I play the game. So I really appreciate you taking your time out and joining us today.
thank you. Look, the aim is just to make things fun and relatable to most of the peeps. So not just always competitive. So if I was able to do that, then awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. And for everyone listening, here's your favorite part. If you could like, comment, and sub, that would be fantastic. That would really help us out. And I guess we will see you guys next time.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye.
Peace.